Greetings to my fellow peace blunderers, and today is going to be the video in which I'm going to basically call you guys out a little bit, but in a very loving and caring way. Alright, well, when you look at yourself in a mirror, first of all, what you're going to see is a total Chad, right? Or a Chadess, I don't know, a female Chad, because obviously my videos attract the most elite of audiences. But jokes aside, when you look at yourself in the mirror, what you're going to probably see there is someone who, in most cases, defends quite suboptimally, right? In most cases, let's not generalize. We all have good games, we all have brilliant games, and some of you guys watching will be proficient defenders, at least at your level. But the general feeling is that most people don't really know how to defend. And when you look in the mirror and don't like what you see, you can find out firsthand what it's like to be me, as My Chemical Romance would sing. And what I mean by that, I'm also terrible at defending. I feel you there. I feel your pain. Now, why are so many people bad or not very good at defending? In my opinion, there is a simple reason, and there is also a bunch of more difficult reasons. Now, the more difficult reasons, they almost exclusively revolve around specific kinds of positions that we're not very good at defending. Maybe sometimes our calculation is not deep enough, etc, etc, etc. Now, fixing those takes hours and tens of hours and hundreds of hours of training. The simple reason, the one that I can probably fix within this one video, is, well, very simple. And this is where I would like each of you to be very honest with yourselves, just like I am being honest with myself, because this is kind of my problem too. Most of the time, we suck at defending not because of lack of skill. I want to assure you of that, and I need you to trust me here. Most of you guys are more than good enough to defend well at your respective level, be it 1,000, below that, above that, whatever. You are good enough. If you can calculate well enough to attack at your level, you've reached a certain level, you're definitely good enough to defend as well, trust me. The reason why we don't defend that well is very simple. Is because we're so lazy, and this is basically the title of the video above my head. It's all down to laziness, lack of care, lack of discipline, which gets fixed like this, instantly. And to illustrate precisely what I mean, I want to show you this position. Position number 1. And spoiler alert, I'm about to get my ass whooped, big time. And there is no excuse either. This is not a blitz game, this is a rapid game, so there is no time pressure excuse. And on top of that, this is, wait a second, wait for it, 2200 level, supposedly. So if any of you guys have any illusion, then 2200 people are supposed to be good, yeah, well, we got that out of the way. Anyway, the only excuse, the only partial excuse that I want to preface here is that there is opposite side castling, all right? My opponent castled queenside, and sometimes, or not sometimes, a lot of people, a lot of the time say when it comes to opposite side castling, it's usually a race. Who checkmates whom first? You just need to attack, 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 and if you win, you win, if you lose, you lose. Well, in my opinion, if you did hear some people say that, and if they treat it as a mantra that you should follow 100% of the time, I say that's just bullshit, right? Obviously. Because when you just attack, attack, attack every time you see a position like this, you're just gonna lose a lot of the time. And this goes very well with what I'm about to tell you here. You know, I played d5. c5, my knight is getting attacked, knight c8. Yeah, not the best move, should have played knight d7, but this is just, you know, small things. What is not a small thing is now my opponent plays h4. And obviously, when the opponent plays h4, what is the next most obvious move? What is the opponent threatening? I wonder what. Obviously, the next move is going to be h5, or h5 is going to be played at some point in the future. What you should do is think how you're going to treat that, right? Obviously, when you have a threat, you know, look behind me, don't ignore threats. When you see a threat that is quite imminent, you need to think of organic ways of stopping it, right? Now maybe play h5. try and calculate that. Get the queen temporarily out of the way. Maybe get your piece, one of your pieces closer to the king side. I don't know, maybe you could play knight e7 or something. Maybe. I'm just throwing options at you. What you definitely should not do, and what I did in this position, and this is a real game that happened, you can go to my profile, it happened not so long ago. What you definitely should not do is play a move like b6. b6. b bloody 6. 6 is my IQ. What am I doing here? What am I doing? And this, hopefully, is something that a lot of you guys will recognize. This is hopefully something that some of you guys do. And it's not like I'm hoping that you guys do bad things. I just hope that you recognize your own mistakes. My mistakes, like, this is not very good. And this is not very good. What you should not be doing is just making ridiculous slow moves that don't do much. And at this point, why didn't I even consider a move like h5 or anything like that? Because I was lazy, honestly. I don't remember the circumstances in which I was playing the game, but I don't know. I just thought that, I'll play b6, whatever, and I completely ignored this. Well, this is what happens when you ignore stuff. h5. Again, I don't even calculate anything. I don't calculate whatever capture there is. I just proceed with my plan stubbornly because, well, why not? B takes c5. Very relevant move. Also very, very scary. Very threatening. And what happens next? Takes, and then rook takes, and right, yeah, rook takes. Yeah, that's a thing that exists. Yes. And after that, there is basically no defense because the pawn is indefensible, the pieces are coming in, and because this is too late now. This is too late. I can't defend this. Now I really want to. Now I don't care about capturing like a third pawn or anything. But, the position is unsolvable. I can play knight e7, sure, supporting my g6 pawn a little bit, but it's still hanging, so it takes. Knight takes, queen takes, and mate, like this. To me, this is the quintessential position to show people why they are not very good at defending, including myself, like I said. It's not that we are trying so hard and we just can't figure it out. It's just that we don't even try. Please tell me I'm not alone with this. Please tell me I'm not alone with this. But okay. Opposite side castling, fine, understandable. When some people see it, all they see is red and they march forwards to their eventual demise. Fine. This, however, what I'm about to show you is, I don't know, if it's more inexcusable or less than excusable, it's still inexcusable. This is still my game, this is still me as black, this is still me losing, don't worry. This position, in my opinion, shows another idea very well. When we are winning, and we know we're winning, and it seems like we're just attacking full throttle, unlike the first position was equal. At its infancy was like all zeros, right? And it all started going badly very soon afterwards. Now this position is like -8 for black, and we get all excited and stuff. And when we do, we sometimes forget, and please let me know if this is something that resonates with you. What happens to our brain sometimes is that we forget that there is another player playing with us. Chess is a two-player game, in case you didn't know. And what it means also is that we are not the only ones who are capable of making threats. We're not the only ones who are capable of affecting things, all right? Even if we're winning, it doesn't mean that we're the only ones making moves. It doesn't mean that we're the only ones, taking pawns, pieces, checkmating, and whatever. So in this position, it's fine to move. Bishop takes h6, which is not scary at all. Because, well, I could take the bishop, but I decided to take the pawn with check. And king goes to h1. And this is what happened, right? I am completely focused on this part of the board, all right? I am only hyper-focused on what I am doing, okay? I like my pawn, I like my rook, I'm loving my position, and I'm only looking at what's going on here. What I completely disregard is what my opponent can do, and what he's going to do should I play a stupid move like knight e3. And this is also another point. Never forget that pieces move backwards, people. Never do. But again, this is because of what I told you. This is because I was like, yes, I'm going to check and I'm going to checkmate and stuff like that. Hyper focused on that part of the board, completely forgetting that, hey, your opponent also has pieces, maybe you should watch out. Bishop takes knight on e3. Yes, just like that, a silly blunder like that. And this is just 80 to 90, if not more % of why me and you defend badly. Hyper focus on our own attack and complete ignorance of what our opponent can do to stop that attack. Again, chess is a two-player game. It's not just you playing and creating threats and attacks. And again, don't ignore threats, i.e. by your opponent. This gets even worse because instead of playing something sensible, I'm like, you took my piece, I'm so mad, terrible, I'm gonna retaliate. I'm gonna play rook f3. I'm gonna attack you, bishop. Don't even ask why. I don't remember why I did it, but you know, I will regret it very soon because obviously, again, hyper-focusing on our offensive, disregarding our defensive. Hello, this pawn is hanging, and it's hanging with check. Queen 6, e6, and now it's like +6 instead of -8, and I lost in a couple of moves. And if you go like, ha ha ha, exclam silly, fake 2200, or should I look at some of your games from your own archive? Should I expose that? Something tells me that we're gonna see some even more interesting stuff, like hanging main ones, like bank rank mates and stuff, you know? Who knows? But jokes aside, this looks bad, of course. But this is the definition of just being lazy, again. And this is something that I want you to just put somewhere in here, memorize it, and try not doing it again. Our final position number 3, very quick one as well. We've got black to move again. This time I'm not black though, this time I'm white. So at least it's slightly more even-handed. I'm not gonna embarrass myself too much. It's black to move, and again, just look at this position and just briefly, very briefly think about what the most obvious next move for white is. Okay, so we can, of course, take that pawn, something that you might be looking at, but honestly, if I'm playing white, and I was playing white, my first initial instinct would be immediately rook e7, right? And this is what I'm definitely going to play because, you know, 2 rooks on a 7th, this is just game over, right? So what black should do, well, not instead, but what black should do at least is try and scan for obvious threats and, you know, try and maybe stop that. Play rook b7. Of course, you can still play rook e7 surely, but at least after takes, it still sucks. But you don't have to deal with a pair of rooks on your 7th anymore. Instead, what happened in the game, which I was very surprised by, I'm happy to see, but surprised by, is rook takes b2. What is rook doing on b2? I don't know. Did my opponent decide that at least I have a pawn for my worries? I mean, I disagree with that mindset. Again, completely disregarding what the opponent is doing, and I'm not against creating counter threats, but what kind of counter threat is that? My back rank isn't exposed because even if I play rook e7, which I did, I'm still covering this with my knight, for instance. So I accounted for that. And, you know, in the future, I can easily make some loot. And again, you shouldn't be just ignoring your opponent's threats and be like, oh, free pawn, let me take it. Come on. We all know that the pawn on b2 and b7 is not a free pawn in most cases anyway. Bottom line is, well, all right, at the end, I think I'm gonna cut you guys a bit of slack. I've been very, very aggressive in my critique today. May as well show some compassion. Defending is objectively more difficult than attacking, obviously. Anyone, almost, master, grandmaster will tell you that. And not only is it slightly more difficult, it's also much less pleasant, obviously. You don't want to be like passively defending, you want to be actively attacking. Still, that shouldn't discourage you from completely ignoring everything that your opponent is doing, completely ignoring any of the threats. It's just ridiculous. Just walking into a blind alley and basically praying that nothing's going to happen to you. It's not a very good mindset to have, and it's very easy to fix. It just requires a bit more discipline, a bit more concentration. You don't need to calculate even that deeply, really. It's just looking for 1 move, 2 move threats. And yes, please just apply yourself. If you just do the simple things right, and honestly, I tell that every time. A lot of people ask on the stream, by the way, join the streams Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. A lot of people ask on the streams, like, how do I improve? And I tell a lot of the time the same thing. Just get the basics right. Your rating will absolutely skyrocket from 1,000 to 1,500 within like a month or 2 months if you just do the basics right. If you blunder less, if you defend more, if you pay more attention, it's just the basic stuff that gets you there. Yeah. If you just so happened to find this video useful, please like and please subscribe. Every like, every subscription matters. Thank you very much in advance. Much love, a friendly hug. And yeah, do come on my streams. Also, tomorrow is going to be round 4 of the Blunderland Cup, a big event. Join that as well. Join the Discord, etc., etc., etc. And to all of my unintentional gambiteers, I wish you best of luck, and I'll see you in the next one.